And on a couple of occasions, someone would get on the show and almost complain that we talked about the Holocaust in completely different terms from how we talked about slavery. And the reason why I think I need to apologise is because I used to be quite impatient with that argument. I used to be quite, even perhaps dismissive of it. And it would be partly editorial. It would be, well, look, yes, I'm terribly sorry, but we're not talking about that today. And it would be partly discomfort because I'm British. And as a schoolboy, I would see that half the world was pink, looking at that map. Or I'd look back upon the period when half the world was pink, and I'd almost feel some bizarre and completely unfounded sense of personal pride in it. Because I'm British, and look, we're a tiny little country, and we ruled the waves, we ruled the world. I would feel a bizarre and completely unfounded sense of personal pride. Speaking of that kind of weird outlook, I guess that one way to understand people who are fairly or unfairly often referred to as being a bit gammony is their accident of birth is the best thing that's ever happened to them. It's the finest achievement of their lives. It's the only thing in their existences that they can really take pride in. And that's how you end up furiously defending the accident of birth that creates something like a royal family. But I digress. Back to slavery, Holocaust, comparisons. I want you to imagine for a moment a government minister or a radio presenter suggesting to you that we shouldn't just focus upon the negative aspects of the Holocaust. I want you to think for a moment how you would respond to a government minister, let's say perhaps an equalities minister, or a newspaper columnist. And I appreciate there was a piece in The Spectator not long ago that flirted with the idea that I'm now sharing with you, but that's for I suppose Andrew Neil to answer for, not for you, and Tacky, the guy who wrote it. But if I were to say to you, I think it's time that we actually acknowledge that some good came of the Holocaust. I think it's time that we actually acknowledge how many German families benefited from keeping property stolen from Jewish families. I mean, how far would you have to reach? I think it's time we acknowledge how many jobs were created in the course of the carnage. How outraged and disgusted would you be?